Dr. Radha Subramaniam with a PhD in chemistry. Try to understand what is meant by chemical kinetics. So, chemical kinetics means it is that part of chemical science which deals with the study of rates of chemical reactions and secondly the factors which will affect the reaction rate. So, what is chemical kinetics? It is a branch of chemistry which deals with study of rates of chemical reaction and factors that affect the reaction rate. Now, what are reaction rate? The rate of the chemical reaction means it is a change in concentration, that is the difference between the initial and final concentration which is taken as mole per liter of a reactant or product with respect to time, that is rate of reaction is change in concentration divided by time change. Now, in chemical kinetics, see reaction A, you get a product B, or a reaction moves from A to B. So, what is the rate? In the first case, we take it minus delta A by delta T, that is change in concentration of A with a time period T, that is 1 point. And secondly, rate also can be delta B divided by delta T, that is change in concentration of B over time period delta T. So, why we are taking A as a negative delta A? Because A, why you are putting square brackets here, it denotes the concentration of A decreases with time, that is why we take delta A as negative. So, moving on to the next concept, you can see from A it forms B and with respect to different timings, you can see we are trying to draw a graph with respect to time taken in the x-axis and number of molecules along the y-axis. So, for A, the graph comes like this, and for B, it moves up like this. So, here already as we said, rate is minus delta A by delta T because A decreases with time and rate A delta B by delta T. Okay, now what is the rate expression? How can you work out the rate of a reaction? So, can you know what happens with the rate? Why we are expressing this as rate of a reaction? Because we don't know all the reactants participating in the reaction or taking part in the reaction makes the same contribution to the total reaction. So, that is where we use the rate expression. That is where the importance of rate expression comes in. So, suppose we have a reaction like this, x plus y gives Z. So, one of the reactant is x, second reactant is y, we get the product Z. Suppose x makes more contribution to the reaction, or even x can make no contribution at all, and instead the reaction may depend upon the y reactant y. So, how can you find out what is happening? So, only way to find all this out is only through experimentation. And rate expression which we learnt already, you have seen a square bracket most of the time. It is represented like HCl and all inside square brackets. So, what does it mean? Just it means that the concentration of HCl. So, this denotes concentration. It is very important. Wherever you see a square bracket like this, you just remember that it denotes the concentration. So, always remember that the rate is proportional to the concentration of the reactants. So, rate is proportional concentration of X and concentration of Y, the product of both the reactants. Now, we already saw rate is proportional to a concentration of X and Y. From that, what do you understand? You can know that both X and Y, both of them have equal effect on the reaction rate. Suppose, what happens if you double the concentration of X or Y? Then the rate of the reaction also will be doubled. And what will happen if you square the concentration of Y alone? So, when you double the concentration of Y, it will quadruple the reaction rate. So, remember these three conditions. Now, we are talking about the rate constant. So, normally you have seen that we put proportionality constant here, proportionality symbol here, but these symbols are not that much useful. So we have to replace the proportionality symbol with a constant. Normally we use the letter K for indicating the constant. Symbol for constant is K. So it is a symbol for the rate constant, but K is not same for all the reaction. Just remember that K varies with temperature. So whenever you say or quote K, you have to state the temperature conditions under which the reaction is occurring or taking place. Now next we move on to another topic known as the order of a reaction. So again you just look at the rate equation of x and y. So here we can see that rate is equal to constant rate constant x into y doubling y. So we can understand from this that the y factor has doubled the effect of x on the rate of the reaction. So this is the order with respect to y, but x must have an order of 1. So x and x1, these both are same. So how will you take the order of the reaction? Overall order of the reaction can be taken as x value is 1 and y has an order 2. So total order will be 1 plus 2, third order reaction. So if you get such a relation, you can understand that the overall order of the reaction would be 1 plus 2, that is equal to third order. Now, so taking into account all these things which we saw right now, the rate constant, reaction order and all that, the overall expression can be written like this: rate is equal to rate constant x raised to a concentration of x to the power m, concentration of y to the power n. What are m and n? These are the orders of the reaction with respect to x and y. So what will be the overall reaction order? Just m plus n. So simply, so this is a very simple, the most simple explanation I have given for you, so that because you know, whenever many students have told me that when you go through this lesson in Ncert book, you find it really confusing and difficult to understand. So that is why I have put it in a simple way, so that anybody who can go through this content will find it really easy to understand. So hope this concept is clear with you all now. Now next is orders of reaction. We were talking about the orders of the reaction. How do you find out the order of the reaction? We can find it out experimentally using something known as initial rate method. But in order to do that, what you should do is the concentration of reactant which you are checking or experimenting, that should be changed, whereas the other reactants concentration should be the same. So according to the initial rate method, what we do is that we plot a graph with the data obtained from the experiment, and then we use that tangent with respect to time to calculate the rate. So this part also should be clear to you now. Now we will see some details about the first order reaction. So we already told that if rate doubles, because when the concentration is doubled, then it's a first order reaction. So you can see a reaction set up here with the trough having water in it, then the measuring cylinder, the clamps are given here. We have got a beaker containing dilute acid with the magnesium ribbon in it, and it is closed with a one hole cork carrying a delivery tube. So here what happens is that, suppose you know concentration of x, y and rate, and x is having 0.01, the concentration of x remains the same, and the concentration of y gets doubled. Here in this case it is 0.02, here it is 0.04. Now the rate of the reaction also will get doubled, you can see here. So the rate is doubled when y is doubled according to this. And what do you understand from here? Then we don't know the order of x, and would have to do another experiment to find out if you don't know the order of the x. That is, order of x is, if it is unknown, we have to experimentally find out the order. And next, this is a first order reaction, because the rate is doubled when y is doubled, means the order with respect to y will be first or 1. Now we will add another result to this. You can see three concentrations given here. X is 0.01, the same in these two cases. Here y gets doubled, and here also the rate gets doubled. And what is the order of x? Here what will be the order of x? It is 1. So here in the third case, concentration of x is 0.005. It is halved, and y is the same, and the rate of reaction is 0.0004. So overall rate equation is you express it in this form. that is k into, k is what? It is the rate constant, concentration of x into concentration of y. So now the question is, what is the value of the rate constant here? That is, what is the value of k? So in order to find out that k, you place k along in one side, then bring down x and y to another side, you get rate by xy is equal to k. So what is the rate in each case? See here, it is 0.0004 divided by x into y, 0.01 into 0.04. Okay, so y is double, so we are taking the concentration of y as 0.04. So you get it as 1 mole. Here this is the unit, mole raised to minus 1, dm raised to minus 3, s raised to minus 1. Okay. Now if the concentration are not given as simple whole numbers, then we can draw the graph. It may be easier to draw a graph of rate against concentration. You will get a straight line starting from the origin. So first order reaction will be a straight line through origin, and the gradient will be the rate constant k itself. Now coming on to the next concept, second order reaction. Here you can see the values of concentration of x is the same, then the y concentration is double, then the rate of the reaction will be quadruple. 4 means it is quadruple, 4 4s are 16. Now here what is the order of y? So order of the reaction with respect to y is 2. And what is the order of x? The order of x will be 3. So what will be the rate equation? Rate will be, already I have said how to find out the order of x. If you know the order of y, that is 2 is the order of y, then plus 1, 3 is the order of x. Now when you write the rate constant, you have to write it like k x to the power of 3 and y to the power of 2. So that is another scenario. Now second order reaction, that is the rate is x to the power of 2. It will be a curve through the origin when you plot a graph of rate against concentration. So with that we have come to the conclusion of the first part of this topic. This is a very lengthy lesson. Along with the sums you have to work out, and I have also included some simple tricks on to how to solve the sums of this chapter. I will be taking a bit of time to finish uploading all the content, and along with that I have to upload some important MCQs as well. So as always I say, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Share it with your friends, and remember to press the bell icon so that as soon as I post a video, you will get the notifications immediately. With that, I will be winding up the session for today. Thanks for watching.